Hello, everyone, and welcome to our lesson about stem-changing verbs. Before we get started, please make sure that you have your unit packet in front of you, whether it is a hard copy or if it's open in another tab in Kami, but you're going to need to write this down. So before we begin, a little bit of terminology. En español hay dos partes de un verbo. Un verbo tiene un raíz y tiene la terminación. El raíz is the root, or we call it in English the stem, but the word raíz in Spanish means root. And that's the first part of the verb. La segunda parte es la terminación, the ending. Terminación is a cognate for termination or the ending. En hablar, el raíz es habl y la terminación es ar. En dormir, el raíz es dorm y la terminación es ir. You already know that to conjugate a verb, you change the ending of the verb. That reflects who is doing the action. So to go back to our example of hablar, we have yo hablo el español. Rita y tú hablan el español. You have to change that ending. Today, we're going to talk about some slightly different verbs that have one more little complication to them. And we're going to start with verbs that are irregular in the yo form. So on the last page of your vocab list, there's a chart for the verb hacer, which you guys all remember means to do or to make. Hacer la cama, to make your bed. Hacer la tarea, to do your homework. So hacer is regular in all of its forms, except for the yo form. It has an irregular yo that goes to hago. So it goes to hago, haces, hace, hacemos, hacéis, hacen. Pause this if you need to write this down and somehow indicate that hago is different than the other ones. Put a little star next to it, highlight it, do whatever you have to do. This is not in your vocab list, but I would like for you to make a note next to hacer that poner is the same way. Poner is a verb that can come in handy in this unit talking about your bedroom because it means to put or to place. So you can put your books on the shelves, you can put your pillow on the bed, and poner works just like hacer. So pones, pone, ponemos, ponéis, ponen, and the yo form is pongo. Again, pause this if you need to just make a little note in your vocab list next to hacer. In the next section, we're going to talk about stem-changing verbs. So remember that in dormir, the stem is dorm, and the ending is ir. Great news. The nosotros and vosotros forms of these verbs are completely regular. So if we start with dormimos and dormís, those are completely regular, easy peasy, conjugate them. The rest of the forms that are left over are sometimes called boot verbs. I mean, these verbs are sometimes called boot verbs because what's left over kind of looks like a boot. For the sake of clarity, I would love for you to outline in your verb charts. I want you to outline this boot. So just make a shape around the yo, tú, the el, ello, usted, and ellos, ellas, ustedes forms, and it kind of looks like a boot a little bit. Inside the boot, the stem of this verb changes. So instead of your regular yo form, it goes to duermo. The O changes to UE, and you conjugate the end. Tú duermes. Usted, él, ella duerme. Ustedes, ellos, ellas duermen. Make sure you write these down. Make sure you color code it, highlight it, do what you have to do. Poder, to be able to, does the same thing. Nosotros, vosotros are regular. Outline the boot. Then you go to puedo, puedes, puede, y pueden. Pause this if you need to, write it down, do what you need to do. We also have, instead of an O to UE stem change, the verb querer, to want. The nosotros and vosotros are regular. In querer, the E changes to an IE. So yo quiero, quieres, quiere, y quieren. So instead of an O to UE, this is an E to IE. And last but not least, we have tener, which is extra special because it has both irregularities. So tener, nosotros, vosotros are still the same. And you may remember this from last year, that tener goes to tengo, tienes, tiene, and tienen. So make sure that your notes are filled out. Your homework will be shared in Google Classroom. Watch this again if you need to, and we will go over any questions that you have the next time that I see you. Thank you.